Welcome to part two with Mila from Australia, now living here since 2 years. She's in the real estate market, one of the property experts in Dubai. She works for the biggest real estate companies in Dubai, Firm Properties, with over or nearly 800 employees. So let's dive deep into part two. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's been super exciting so far. So
Fantastic. Thank you. So what do you think of the real estate market in Dubai? Say, for example, you have a client, an investor, and he wants to invest in Dubai. What do you give him for information? Would he buy an off-prem property, an old property to renovate? What's the best investment for him? What do you suggest him?
look, I think it's very important that you understand what the client wants in particular because everyone is different, right? I think to have a quality conversation with the client first, like what's their funds like, what's their what's the capacity that they can use to be able to invest into the real estate market. Can they do cash payments? Do they prefer doing payment plans, or are they a mortgage-based client? Is the point to flip in a short period of time, or is it for a residential property, to move into? So with all this said, I honestly am a big believer that, you should definitely get yourself an investment property first, because we do have quite high rental yields at the moment. So it is kind of a market for you to be earning some extra income, if you can. Also, the rental prices at the moment are quite affordable. So, that kind of you having a good income flow on the side whilst you're renting, it's very doable here. Off-land market is booming. It's one of the highest transactions at the moment. So because there's so many projects that we have at the moment with payment plans and post-handover payment plans, which is very popular, it gives the client flexibility to pay over a period of time and then be an owner of a property. So, there's many different options for a client,
What's the, like, say, the average investment you have with the clients? Is it 1 million, $10 million?
So we'll talk dirhams.
Damn,
So
okay.
in dirhams, we're saying around 1 million to 3 million dirhams. So that's the starting price point, especially with clients looking to just move to Dubai. Just first time investors. This is generally their price point. But then obviously you can go to your up to 10 million and then 10 million plus for more luxury market, which is quite exciting for a lot of the clients here.
And if they invest 1 to 3 million dirham, when is the property mostly completed?
Look, a lot of the properties are completed around 2026.
Okay, so two years. So you
Around
invest
2
now, in 2
years.
years you can expect the
Exactly. Yeah. We
property.
have a lot of properties handing over in about 2026. And a lot of new areas that are developing also. Rashid Marina and Yachts, for example, that's a lot of the handovers are around 2028.
And do most clients, if they invest into the property and handovers 2026, do they keep it or do they resell, let's say, a year beforehand and make a good return of investment?
Yeah, so a lot of the clients purchase to sell in a short period of time, and generally you can only resell after you pay 30 to 40% of your property. So a lot of people can make quite a good return just off of that short period of time.
How much approach? If you
Uh,
say, example, you're investing, the property value is 1 million dirham and you paid 40%, so maybe 400,000.
mhm.
And then the date of completion is maybe 1 year beforehand.
Yeah,
How much profit can you make?
you can make honestly like 10 to 15% just off of that.
So you get your 400,000 back,
Yep,
and then you have a profit of 10-20%, so another 100-200,000,
exactly.
which then you can reinvest into another property or
Another
maybe two
project.
projects or something. So
Exactly.
that's what a lot of
Which
clients
is
do that.
a lot of our clients tend to do that.
Yeah.
They love to, you know, invest into multiple different types of
Mm.
properties and off-plan projects. Um, yeah, it's just about growing a portfolio.
But for people or beginners in the property market, is it hard? Say if they're coming from a different country, from the UAE, and they have a few million, and they say, okay, I have like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million dirham, and I want to start property. How complicated is it? Is it easy?
It's really, it comes down to your broker. If you have a good broker in Dubai, really the process should not be difficult at all. Like the broker should be knowledgeable about where to invest, how to utilize the funds that the client is able to invest into a market. You know, what profitability can a client make afterwards? And this all just comes down to trust and knowing who you're speaking to. So it's really, really important that you get to know the broker that you are working with.
So it's like in the end, our company, the business setup, we're the best in the market. We give the clients like we treat them like a baby,
Yeah.
so they don't need to think about anything. I think that's the main thing, which you
Yes.
also are saying.
Yeah, look, in banking, before when I was working in banking and in the real estate world, it is very, very similar.
Mm.
It's an emotional transaction that is happening, right? So you need to really, really make the client feel comfortable, make the client, you know, get the client to understand that you have their best interest at heart. You understand exactly what the client needs, what's the end result. Once you kind of break that barrier, you will earn their trust,
Mm.
you know, and you will be able to continuously transact with them, and they will come back to you and they will refer friends and family to you.
Yeah, I can fully understand that. And where are the most clients coming from? Which country? Because I heard it's UK, India,
Okay.
Russia. Of course, we also have a real estate company now. We just added 2 months ago, so we have a lot of insights of this stuff. So is it still true? Your
Yes.
customer clients?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. UK is definitely our number
Yeah.
one, you know, foreign investors.
And what about say America? We also have in the company setup we have a couple of American clients, but they are always they take longer actually to make the move. Is
Yeah.
it the same in your segment?
Yeah, so same thing. So I don't see too many American investors, although um, I have seen an influx
Mm.
of the US investor.
Or
And
Canada?
same with Australia. Yeah, so Canada a little bit more. I see the demographic a little bit higher here in Dubai. US, uh, very minimal. And Australia is starting to grow. So, which you would obviously know.
Yeah, Australia is a continent, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
People think it's a country, and I think how many people? I think it's 30 million
yeah, yeah,
population. If you compare that, USA I think have 300 million,
yeah,
but the country is same size as USA and Australia, but Australia has so much green.
yeah.
So yeah, small population, but people are moving. I think that wasn't there maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago. Most people will stay in Australia, but as the world is changing, evolving a lot, people are relocating all around the globe, and especially coming to the GCC countries,
Yeah.
which is very, very interesting. And tell me a bit about your daily life as an agent. When you wake up, do you have your appointment schedule? Do you have to go to the office? How was the weekend? Are you always available? Give us some insights.
Yeah, actually, I really love this question because a lot of people don't realize how much work agents actually put into the day-to-day life, you know, and how much effort we put into, you know, ensuring that the client is being looked after. And obviously, if you're a good agent and you're really, really passionate about your job, this is something that you will tend to see. A day in the life of an agent, you need to be very, very organized because it's very easy for you to be dipping your hands into multiple different avenues and different clients and different projects, and it gets really, really confusing. You know, you need to be very organized, very structured. You need to have your week planned out beforehand. So you need to make sure that, you know, bookings are scheduled. You're touching base with your clients, constantly following up. This is a very, very big piece because, you know, a lot of time goes into actually scheduling viewings, for example, where clients won't show up. And in my time working as an agent, I've only had one client not show up, but that's only because I do the follow-up piece very, very well. You know, making sure that I follow up a day before, confirm the time, confirm an hour before as well. And that just makes my whole week so much more, you know, easier to work with. Um, Socializing, our social life is quite minuscule. We do meet a lot of people on the job, which is quite nice. And so you don't feel like you're missing out on too much because you're always on the job. You're always, you know, involved in new projects. You're always at new events. Networking is a very big thing in Dubai. And this is something, for example, like you and I do very well, is that we network, you know, and it's very good to grow your the people that you know. So it's not really about what you know, it's about who you know. So it's very vital here in Dubai because you get to learn so much of each other, and you know, there's something that you might have that someone else might not have. And like, for example, Chris and I got to know each other because of a referral based you know, relationship where he had clients coming from you know, international clients who needed places to rent or buy. And this is something that we worked together on, where, you know, we were able to help his clients find a rental property or help his clients find a property to move into. So this is very, very important because, you know, it just grows your brand so much more.
Exactly. Yeah. Without contacts and relationships in Dubai, you can't exist. I think it's very vital. And you, if you haven't done it before, you learn it
Yeah.
after the period. And yeah, as you've been now here nearly two years, you've actually achieved quite a lot, you
Yeah.
can say, huh? And scheduling all your things when you come from the banking industry, you know your process. I think you haven't been teached. Maybe you didn't get teach properly in your new company here because you knew the
Yeah.
things, you knew the steps. But the real estate market was pretty new to you
Yeah.
in the end. But how did you learn all these things? Did you have any courses? Did you do it by yourself, learning by doing?
I really like this question because a lot of people think that you're going to get spoon fed your way into real estate. And really, it's not that type of environment at all. You need to learn on your own. You need to be out there and grow your clientele, you know, on your own. Your company does give you a training facility, you know, just to kind of understand and take a grasp of the systems that you use. But from there, the training wheels are off. Your 2 weeks of training is, you know, comes to an end, and you're out there in that market, and you are essentially learning every single day on the job. So if you don't, you know, show up to work every single day, if you don't, you know, put in 110%, then you're not going to make it. It's a very sink and swim kind of industry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mila. We get a lot of people asking, I want to become a real estate agent in Dubai. It must be pretty good. They sometimes have some experience, sometimes not, but they think it's easy. They can just come here, become a real estate agent. But as you say, it's two different segments. You have one part, maybe you have a fully commission, or you can have a job with the paid salary,
Yeah.
a low salary, and a commission. But if the agency is not giving you any clients, you have to market yourself. So most agents in Dubai, and I think we have a couple of thousand, I don't know, maybe it's 20,000, 30,000, I'm not sure.
Probably more at this
More than
rate,
that,
yeah.
probably. And most of them, maybe 95%, they maybe only sell a property a month, every 2 months. It's just keeping the living cost going. So not like making big money for the
Yeah.
company. But a lot of companies, they have like your company, you have different locations. You have nearly 800 employees. So if every employee is bringing one client, you can imagine what scale they are going. And I know a few real estate companies in the last 1 or 2 years, they have grown dramatically because of this reason, because they get commission. But that's the thing, people are not aware of just having this commission. If you're getting commission, you have to do something for
Yeah.
it. So if you're selling 1 or 2, 3 a year, it's okay. For the company, it's good, of course, but you have to always keep going. So it's not for everyone, this real estate market.
Yeah.
But how do you keep up with the pressure? Because if you are, it's like you are like a bit of like a self-employed
Yeah.
person, and not having a fixed salary, having a commission-based job, you have to always keep on striving. That's why maybe you're also here in the podcast today, to maybe market yourself a bit more, to get used to the speaking. You do a lot of social media, of
Yeah.
course, but it's like you could also said, like other agents said, no, I don't want to speak. But you said, okay, I'm happy to come.
Yeah.
Like, what made you? Because you want to grow. Have you got any big goals in life? What you want to achieve?
Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, it's very important to build your own brand. And that's what we're all here for. You know, if you have the right mindset, you know, maybe I've got something that, you know, I can share that someone else can learn off me. There's a lot of people that are moving, you know, from abroad. There are a lot of people moving from overseas to come and pursue, you know, jobs out here, not knowing, you know, like you said, it is a commission-based industry. And if you're not disciplined and if you're not focused, then it might just not be the right kind of pathway to take. And, you know, making a big move like this costs money. It's not easy, you know, so it's better to have an understanding of what the realistic lifestyle is. It's not selling sunset. It's not $1 million listing. You know, it's not as glamorous as everyone makes it out to be. A lot of people do it really, really tough, you know. And when I first moved here, it was, you know, I had a good savings in place ready to go for, you know, moving to Dubai. And I knew that I needed to have, you know, at least 6 months worth of expenses ready to go for me. But you know, it is a commission-based job, so you need to be very, very driven.
What would you advise someone who is coming to Dubai and to want to also become an agent? They've been an agent before, or they haven't been an agent. What would you guide them on your experience? What they maybe can do better and quicker?
What I would advise someone to do if you wanted to pursue real estate, you need to be very, very driven. You need to understand that you need to put in 110% effort. You need to be making the calls. You need to be getting out there networking. You need to be able to get listings. You know, selling is easy, but keeping a client happy is a whole nother ball game. You know, you want your clients to come back to you. So being knowledgeable, being updated with the property market, being able to have answers for your clients whenever they have questions. You know, you want to be that source at all points. You're essentially their therapist, you're their doctor, you're their you know, you're their mother. You want to be everything to them, you know? So it's a very big role that we take when we're working with clients.
And tell me a bit about your numbers. As I'm a business owner, I always need numbers. That's the most important to, of course, grow. How much, like say, sales do you make a month, a year, an average?
Yeah. Look, it's very, very different. So honestly, to keep at a really, really good pace, you need to be closing at around 8 to 10 deals a month. This is
Wow, it's pretty
something,
a lot.
yeah, you need to be, whether or not that's rentals, whether or not that's sales, you know, whatever works for you, whatever keeps you going. But the thing is, you're in a market where everything is priced very different. You've got high rentals, you've got low rentals, you've got you know, big sales and low sales. But the thing is, to be able to maintain a living and to sustain a living here in Dubai, you need to be making quite consistent sales. So 8 to 10, I would say, to be comfortably living here.
But if you're making 8 to 10, um, commission based off plan 5%, 0.5%, 2%, maybe for the company 2.5. So it's a pretty big amount actually. If I
Yeah.
break it down, maybe it's a few 100,000 dirham a month, which
Yeah.
maybe you're making,
Yeah.
other agents are making, so you
But
must
remember, like in saying this, you're splitting with the company, number one. So this is if you're not obviously a freelancer, that I'm just speaking based off myself. You're splitting with a company. Second, you've got a lot of expenses to kind of upkeep. And third, commissions are just pretty much based on whether or not you're closing through a developer or you're closing, just with just a resale with a client. So your commission kind of ranges from around 2% to, let's say, average 5%. Yeah, but you can even earn commissions up to 8%. And if you do get that, that's great.
like Bingatti, I think they give 8 or 10%. Yeah. It's crazy amount. And if you sell something for 100, 200, 300 million, we also have a video about that one. Yeah, you could become maybe super rich or in a short time.
Yeah.
Do you have a dream or an aim maybe to become an own business owner as an agent? We don't want to hear your boss hearing this now, Firas, but do you have a dream, or is this, would you say, I'm okay with what I'm doing because I can reach my goals with it, and then having an own agency, it's not like, it's hard, of course, and then you have to work more to market yourself more, of course.
Yeah. Look, I think it's fair to say that everyone has a goal and a dream, right? If I came out here and said no, my plan is not to start off my own company one day and start off something on the side, then I'd be lying. I mean, I do have a very big vision for myself. At the moment, I am quite happy and satisfied where I'm at. I do have a goal for myself, and I set, 3 monthly goals, and I try to achieve them every 3 months. So once I tick that off, I move to the next goal and I add something a little bit more challenging for myself. But down the line, yeah, why not? Like, why not have a brokerage where I can do mortgages and I can do real estate at the same time. No one wants to be working for an agency their whole life, or some do, but I'm young, I've got big goals, big dreams.
Big goals. Yeah, as you mentioned, the mortgage side, as you're in the banking industry and you did this already, so it's a combination of now going more deeper into the real estate, what you're doing already since like only 2 years. It's a good topic, and that's the thing we get also asked a lot. What industry can I go in Dubai? They ask me, Chris, what can you recommend? I tell them you can do anything. The competitors are it's the market is, it's small because there's so many competitors in all industries. But to stand out and to compete, you have to really work nonstop, 200%. It's not what people think. You just see the sun and the beach and the nice locations, the bars. You can enjoy it, but you work more. You can't stop, and anything is possible. But if you want to create a company or business, as Mila mentioned, with a mortgage agency, if you have a good service, good quality, you're transparent, that's the main thing to really become big, because most companies here, they don't offer this, and that's where the niche is, where you can stand up. But you need to really work hard to really keep that established, and it takes a long time. So as you mentioned, that's maybe your goal, your dream, to always go the next step. Who knows what's in the next 2, 3,
Who knows?
4 years. What advice would you give to an investor who's outside of the country or inside the country, has some properties, or he wants to reinvest? What would you suggest him on your experience? How do you go forward?
Look, I think for me, one very, very important aspect for an investor is understanding exactly what would be beneficial for his financial circumstance. The reason why I say this is because a lot of agents in the market are kind of just sell, buy, buy. Like it's they pretty much advise their owners to just sell properties that are earning them very good, return on their investments. Whereas I don't see that. I think there's a very big, market for mortgages that's really, really missed here and that's the biggest gap that I see from, Dubai to Australia, is that, Dubai is a very cash-based country, like we were mentioning earlier, but it's how do we grow the portfolio of a client? Someone's invested their money into a very nice villa and they live in it, but they've used up their funds. So how are they going to, grow their portfolio in there? How do they become an investor from there? And the biggest advice is, you can actually draw out the equity from the property that you own, because the investment has grown over a period of time. So you can actually draw out the equity from that property, around 70 to 80%, and go and invest it into an investment property. Something that's going to earn you some rental income on the side. And this is one way where you can, really, really grow your investments. And this is about understanding, your clientele, being able to advise someone, the right way of growing their book of properties. So,
But it's actually hard to get a mortgage. Yeah, I've been in contact with several mortgage companies, and some of them don't want to work with you, not available. That we come down again to service quality. So how can an expat or resident really have it easy to invest? What does he need to show? Does he need to show, like, say, a 6 months bank statement, his personal bank statement showing like 30,000 dirham income every month? Would he then be able to get 2-3 million,
yeah.
or will it get declined?
Look, it's all based off whether or not you're self-employed or you're a salary earning expat or client. So, firstly, I think finding the right mortgage broker is very, very important. That's number one. No, I don't really agree with the fact that it's difficult to get mortgages here. It's quite straightforward, just as it is in your own countries. Actually, even if you want to invest whilst living overseas in Dubai and get a mortgage, it is possible. In terms of documentation, I'll leave that for the mortgage broker to kind of just break down what kind of documents are required. But essentially, it is quite similar to just getting a mortgage in your own country. And you just need to show your statements. You need to show your income flow. And essentially you'll be able to invest in a market like this. So contact a mortgage broker and actually get a little bit more insight as to how to, what documentation is required. You're self-employed, I'm presuming, yeah? So for you, it might be a little bit more different, because you will need to have a year to 2 years worth of
Statements, financial reports.
financial reports, and what have you.
Yeah.
And this is probably why you see it as difficult, because I was once self-employed as well, and I understand what the difficulties in getting a mortgage as a self-employed worker, because you need to have your finances upkept all the time. You need to have your taxes paid, etc. But yeah, so it's just based off whether or not you're self-employed or you're a salary earning client. A little bit easier for salary, but yeah.
And Mila, what's the difference of growing up in Australia and now living in Dubai? Of course, like cost of living, how's your daily expenses, if you compare it to Australia? And also, I know you work a lot, as you mentioned, but do you use the lifestyle which they have here? Australia also have a cool lifestyle. I've been there, as I mentioned before. Growing up in Germany, we don't have such a lifestyle as here. But my impression also, you have this crazy lifestyle here in Dubai. Sometimes it doesn't cost any money. You don't need to spend anything
Yeah.
to enjoy the lifestyle. Going to the beach, you can park free, and you
Yeah.
can enjoy the beach all day. So, yeah, tell me a bit about, like, Sydney. What's it, Bondi Beach?
Bondi
Beach.
Beach.
Been there, and Dubai. Like, comparison of cost of people want to, like, say they want to move here. What's an average, like, budget they need to have a month for, like, say, 1-2 person household?
Yeah, it's a nice question to ask, because it's good to get an idea of, you know, the cost of living, right? For me personally, I find that Australia has a lot of benefits. Okay, so we've got educational benefits, we've got healthcare benefits, where everything is pretty much funded by the healthcare system or the educational system. Obviously, private school is a little bit different. So, private school sector in Australia will be something to compare to the Dubai schooling system. The good thing is Dubai has multiple different curriculums. So you've got the British curriculum, and then it just kind of goes on to different education systems here. But essentially, the cost of private schooling is more expensive in Australia than it is in Dubai. Another thing is the healthcare system. So, you know, we've obviously got everything pretty much funded for in Australia. But in Dubai, you do need to have, you know, insurance covers, and you need to find the right insurer as well, because you just never know. In terms of groceries, this is a very sensitive topic for me, because we come from a country that has really fresh produce, and, you know, our meat tastes amazing and our vegetation is incredible. Then I came here and it's just not as great. You know, this is something very big to me. I do miss, you know, the more organic kind of foods, you know, so I do taste the difference. Also, groceries, you have your different kind of levels, right? And you would know that, let's just say, shopping at you know, a Tesco would be a little bit more on the pricier side.
Or go to Viva.
If you shop at Viva,
well, you also get quality there.
Yes,
it's a German owner, actually, Viva.
There you go.
You come from Lidl.
And this is the thing, everything is pretty much outsourced from different countries, right? So you can definitely live, you know, very reasonable lifestyle when it comes to costs of groceries.
You just need to know how and
you
where
just need
to
to know
find
where
it.
and how. Yeah, as everywhere though. Yeah.
So an average, in Australia, average salary is it $2,000
yearly. We'll say around 70,000, 65 to 70,000 a year. Okay, and then you got taxes, which you don't have over here.
That gets deducted.
Which gets
so
deducted.
you don't have 70, so it's not like, say, 4,000.
That's not net. Yeah. So let's hypothetically say 70,000 is your average salary in Australia. Then you've got to pay a portion for your taxes, and then you've got to pay a portion for your superannuation, which goes towards your retirement funds,
which you never use.
Which let's hope we use. Let's hope we get to that age.
But they won't pay you the full amount out what you're paying in.
Exactly. That's right. The thing.
So useless.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, I salary sacrificed in Australia, so I put in more money into my super. So I don't know if I can go and access that now. That would be nice. But yeah, so in Dubai, everything that you earn is pretty much everything that you get. Obviously, a little bit different now with self-employed, because you do pay a little bit of a margin for taxes, which is something new to Dubai. But as a salary earning person, you are essentially, you get 100% of the profit, which is nice.
So an average salary here for maybe normal employees, maybe between $1,000 and $2,000.
Yeah.
Average.
Yeah.
And I think you can have maybe an ordinary life, of course.
Yeah.
You can, comparing the rents in other countries, Australia, for example, I think they're pretty, like living in Sydney.
Yeah.
It's pretty high, probably, isn't it, in a major city?
It's so much higher.
So average, say, one bedroom.
So you're looking for a one bedroom, you're looking at spending around $700 a week.
A week, so that's times 4. So we have $2,800 a month.
Yeah.
So that's like you can $2,800. You can you can get something 1-2 bedroom apartment here for a year.
Yeah, I would say
with
two to three
gym,
bedroom.
sauna.
Yeah, you can get a 2 to 3 bedroom apartment for a
depending
price
on the area
of
you're living.
Yeah, of course. for a 1-bedroom compared to a 1-bedroom
Yeah.
in Australia. So rental prices, the thing is, in Australia at the moment, there is a rental crisis happening
Okay.
because there's such a low supply in the market, and hence the reason why there's that rental crisis.
And they probably 1-bedroom. I've stayed in Sydney, I think a few weeks. It was a dump. So probably there's also a
Yeah.
dump what you get and how many square feet
Yeah,
for
yeah.
$700 a week.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
That's
like
right.
maybe 20, 30,
Yeah.
200.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like comparing to here with the quality what you actually can get here, depending of course on the area, but you have everything. You have a swimming pool, you have the gym, you have the sauna, you have the
Yeah.
playground, you have the security,
And
parking.
I think that's very important to like note that when you're investing or purchasing a property here in Dubai, when you're coming to make the payment, think about the actual environment that like the community that you're investing in. Is there a mall nearby? Do I have to spend money to go and travel for
Yeah.
a mall? Is there is there schools close by? Is there a park facility, a pool? Is there a beach? These are like little things. So when you're actually investing in a property here, these are the aspects to think, okay, is this going to be worth, my money?
Exactly.
The metro, very important as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Okay. The metro line or the bus lines that can still be improved, of course, in the UAE, I
Yeah.
must say. But they're working on everything, so they can't do everything at once.
Yeah.
So it's just developing and it's happening. They're doing a new metro line, the blue line, from City Creek, Devo Creek,
Yeah, Creek.
Festival City.
Yeah.
So that's going to also be quick done. They did a new line from Dubai to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
They're building an underground tunnel, I think, to India. So you can see so many
That's news to me.
new developments happening here.
Yeah.
And but like come back to the price and living in
Yeah.
Australia, Dubai. Of course, you're here now, and you get paid everything in Australia. You have the health insurance. You can get benefits, schooling. Everything can get paid, like in Germany, for example. Yeah, you don't need to work; they give you money free. But we're here,
Even
so
unemployment
yeah,
benefits. Yeah.
exactly. But why don't you stay there then? And if you have all these benefits, why do you come here? Because a lot of nationalities who are living here, they think of living in Australia and Europe, it's better than living in Dubai, but they don't know the south. So why don't you just stay in Australia? Because you have your job, you have your family, you have everything. So why you come here yourself?
Why does everyone move
Correct.
to a
Why
different
does
country,
everyone want to move
right?
here?
Honestly, we keep on mentioning it's a career-driven country.
Mm.
It's very career based, and there's so much opportunity here. And this is the thing, like I was very comfortable in what I was doing. When I was in banking, I was very comfortable, and I knew that if I stayed there, this was going to be me for the next, you know, 30 years, let's just say,
Getting the
right?
retirement
Yeah.
money, have 2 kids,
Exactly. The super will
divorce
come in
husband.
handy. Touch wood. Let's hope not. But yeah, essentially, I had everything pretty much like all set out for me in stone. But what more can I do? I knew that there was like something for me, something calling out for me. And it's funny because when I moved here, it really made me grow my faith, right? And I genuinely think that it was so unusual the way it happened when I made the decision to move here. I was traveling in Turkey actually, and one day I had lost my passport on the plane, and I didn't really care. I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. Like it happens. I've lost my passport, then I'll just stay here for a little while. And then as I was trying to get my passport back from the offices and what have you from the other cities. So I thought to myself, like, why not just move? So I had a discussion with my family that same night. We were all on this holiday, and I said to them, like, well, guys, what do you think about me moving to Dubai? What's your perspective on that? And they're like, yeah, why not? That would be great. Not knowing that I was being serious. So these guys, coming from an Arab household, they're just agreeing with me and telling me to follow my dreams and what have you. And I went back to Australia. I spoke to my employer and I pretty much just kind of said, like, this is a situation. I think I'm going to travel. And, I'll be back in about 6 months. I was only meant to be here for 6 months. And back to the faith side, I just felt like everything that, because usually you would take long service leave after 10 years. I got approved after 8 years, but everything kind of just opened up for me. Like one door after the other was just opened up, and I just felt like it was the right pathway to take. And I said, you know what, like this is a great opportunity for me to grow myself, grow my brand, and see where this hidden life takes me.
Yeah.
You know, so this is why I'm here now. We're in my second year, so
Very
yeah.
interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And what could you advise people moving to Australia, like especially people from, say, Sri Lanka, Philippines, India, Pakistan, and they are already thinking their dream is to go to Australia or go to Europe. Is it easy for them to go there to get a job? Can they get a passport? Can they get a visa? What's the steps you would know?
Look, it is getting a little bit more difficult and a little bit more regulated when it comes to getting visas in Australia. You know, so I don't think is as smooth of a process as it is to come to Dubai, really. And this is very important because I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought it would be so much more difficult for me to move here. But in the sense of someone moving to Australia, it's also a very, very big step. The good thing is you will get unemployment benefits for a period of time. It would take about 5 years for you to get your residency in Australia. So but the quality of life is incredible over there, you know.
Or could they have a chance to get a job there with a visa?
Absolutely,
So they just
absolutely.
need to apply for a job.
Yeah, I would say apply prior to you moving. Like that's very important that you actually get you know, a visa for employment prior to moving. You know, because it's not easy out there either. So once you've got that kind of in hand, things become a little bit more smoother for you, the transition. Yeah.
What's like, say, the average of nationalities here? Is it still mostly Australian? Do you see a lot of say you say Arabic countries speaking, people from Philippines, Asia, Europe?
Yeah, look, we have a lot of, let me tell you the demographic over there. So you've got lots of Vietnamese, you've got a lot of Chinese, you've got a lot of Lebanese, you've got a lot of Indian nationalities, Pakistan as well. So this is Greeks, Italians, and Islanders. This is what makes up Australia.
Okay.
Okay. And if I've missed your country, then
Aborigines.
Aboriginals,
Are they still
yeah,
there?
but that's their land, you know?
That's the land,
That's
They
their
were
land,
scary
yeah.
actually when I saw them.
Why?
I don't know. They scared me. They looked differently. It
Yeah,
was crazy. So
yeah.
that's the
But they, you know, they did have it really, really tough. I mean,
Yeah.
even till now, you know, when you kind of grow to understand
Yeah.
their upbringing and what's actually happened to them, and it's happening a lot around the world at the moment. If you know, in Palestine as well, where lands have been taken and what have you, you know, it's quite a similar kind of aspect. So yeah, this is a very, very big piece of Australia. Yeah.
Nice, Mila. Yeah. Thanks for the crazy conversation. It was
Yeah.
very interesting.
Roller coaster conversation.
Yeah. Thanks again. And yeah. So last question. What's like you mentioned before your future plans? You want to grow as a person. So what's your next? As you mentioned also before, you have like a 3 month plan. What's your next 3 months plan?
3-month plan. I'm really, really working on closing some luxury deals. So I'm really focused on the luxury market at the moment. So Pearl Jumeirah, Lemer South, which is mainly like plots over there, and Dubai Hills. So those are my areas of expertise. So if I can close one big deal, which is possible for anyone really, you just have to have the right mindset. Yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mila, and maybe see you again on our
Yeah.
next podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.